Inshallah, I'll say in Arabic and you can repeat it.
Yeah.
Ashhadu Allah ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu. I bear witness. I bear witness that there is no God but Allah and Prophet Muhammad is the messenger and servant of Allah. MashaAllah. And I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, may He guide you more. May He guide you more. And may He put you in Jannah, inshallah. If we don't meet in Japan, we'll meet in Jannah, inshallah. I don't want him to become like those Japanese which are bad. I wanted to become those Japanese who take the Shahada and are good.
信仰告白をして、なんですか、名前だけでムスリムにはならないでください。信仰告白をした以上、これからさらに良きムスリムとなられることを期待します。
Inshallah.
I'm free to accept because I'm very free. I'm very open-minded. Just say.
I'll answer both your questions and then come back to you.
Yeah, and just a say.
And then check your freedom also.
Yeah, okay, no worries, sir. And just a say. And since at the end, I would love to tell you. Right now, I'm in a process of discovering myself because as I told you,
one question at a time. You already asked two questions.
Yeah.
Let me reply to those two questions,
Okay.
then you can give your comment.
Yeah, okay, no worries, sir.
Your first question, that if I'm the creator and if I made the creation, you want the creation to be happy. So if Almighty God created us and I'm not Islamic and I'm happy what I'm not Islamic, so the creator should be happy, correct?
No, sir.
No, so this is not your question.
No, I say.
Summarize your question.
No, I say if I love what I want to do.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. If you love what you want to do and you're happy, so why should the creator be sad?
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
And this is your question.
Yeah.
I'm giving you an example. My son, he tells me, Father, I'm happy taking drugs. I'm saying, I don't take drugs. Father, I'm happy taking drugs. Why are you interfering with my freedom? What should I do? What should I do?
Okay, but at the end of the day...
Not okay. I'm asking you a question. Will I believe in my son? Arey bhai, you are yet ande mein. Abhi ande ke bahar nikle. I'm a medical doctor. Correct? No, Father, I'm happy. I feel good. I'm in a different world. I take cocaine. I am the father. Even if you feel good, cocaine is bad for you, I will stop. You know, one more son is there. I want to jump from the 10-story building. Why? Superman. I will slap him. Why? Superman afterwards. You want to jump? So, a father is going to be kind. I will not be easily happy. If he's happy doing the right thing, I'll be happy. You understand? Because I'm a father. Our creator is far superior than a father. I may not know everything in life, but the creator knows everything. So the creator knows what is good or what is bad for you. This happiness is temporary. It is temporary. So today you are saying, I am happy not following Islam. It's not restricting following Islam. Our purpose of life is to worship Allah. Worship our Creator. Our purpose of life is to obey the guidance of Almighty God. And I said in my lecture, why will God be happy when we follow Him? Because it will benefit us. If I tell my son, study, don't have cocaine, have milk, have good food. Why? I'll be happy because it will benefit him. It will not make any benefit to me. So similarly, God, when you follow His commandments, He is happy because it will benefit you. You think you are great. Robotics, coming to your second question, robotics.
No, actually, sir, I was confused in the first question. Yeah.
What are you confused?
Yeah, but
you are saying because they're happy of what you're doing.
No, no, no.
Why should the creator
So
disagree?
my confusion is that you took it like pessimistically. If you took optimistically, like if I am a robotic engineer.
Robotic comes secondly. First you're talking about
Yeah, so I love
follow Islam.
Yeah, I love making robots. So if I'm really happy, I have a very good sleep at night. At the end of the day, I realize my machines are really working perfectly. I'm really happy. Am I doing wrong? Creating machines?
There is no problem. Does the Quran say don't create machine?
No, sir. Because
Wait, listen. You're talking, and you're not listening. The problem is that you're talking and not listening.
No, if you're going.
Did I ever say that making robot is haram? I said in my talk, if you follow anything against the commandment of God, it is wrong. Does the Quran say you cannot make machine? No. So what's the problem in making machine? The problem is, if you make machine and start thinking you're God, then there's a problem. You understand?
No, sir. Like if you're. Yeah.
You're not listening to the answer, keeping on arguing.
Sir, you asked a question. That's why I'm ready to answer.
Your question was that if you don't follow Islam and I'm happy in it, why is God not happy? Simple question. Now you're adding machine to it. Your machine was to the second question.
But
You can see the recording.
Yeah,
Your memory is very good.
But I say if I love what I'm doing, so I love
If you love what you're doing and it is not going against the commandment of God, continue doing. But if you love what you're doing which is against the commandment of God, it will cause loss to you and God will not be happy. If my son is doing something, he likes studying, and studying is good, I will not be angry. But if he loves having drugs, I will not be happy. Will you be happy your son having drugs?
Of course, sir.
Why? Let him be happy. He's making robots after having drugs. Will he be happy? It's not making robots. Making machine is not haram in Islam. Making machine is not prohibited. That is the second question. Don't merge your first question with the second question. The first question was, what you are doing, you are happy. If it doesn't go against the commandment of God, no problem. But you should also follow the commandment of God. If he says, I make machine, I will not have food, he will die. So there are certain do's and don'ts. If you follow the do's, it will benefit you. If you follow the don'ts, it will cause harm to you. So number one, your purpose of life should be to obey the commandment of God. Number one. Coming to your second question. That if there is a machine, it requires the instruction manual, correct? Now you are talking about robotics. Where did you learn robotics? From the instruction manual only. You are a fool. Without the instruction manual, you learn the instruction manual, now you say you don't want it. Where did you learn about robotics? Did you learn from your mother's womb? Did you learn robotics from your mother's womb?
Basically, I learned from my nature. I'm a university dropout.
Forget about dropout.
Yeah.
Did you read any books on computers or not?
If I say I don't,
Then I will say that you're lying.
then sir, I'm a university dropout. I didn't learn that.
But you can, even Newton, even Albert Einstein was a dropout.
Yeah.
So dropout can be intelligent.
Yeah.
There's no question of being a dropout or not.
Yeah.
Sheikh Dida, you were university dropout. Sheikh Dida 6th standard pass.
Yeah.
With 6th standard pass.
So would you
So
say
that doesn't mean a person if he drops out from a university. You know Newton, when the apple fell on his head, he was kicked out from the class and the apple fell on his head. Then he thought about the law of Newton. Do you know that? Even he was a dropout. That doesn't mean a dropout cannot become a scientist. My question to you was, irrespective whether you're a dropout or not, did you read books or not?
sir, but you don't read books for every machine.
Question. For the basics of machine, did you read any book in your life or not?
Yeah, I can say I read high school books.
And those high school books for your instruction manuals.
Yes.
Correct? So instruction manual is a must for any machine.
But I don't read instruction manual for every single machine. You know, if you read it, then it will restrict your thought for that particular machine.
Okay, I will give you a machine which you have never seen in your life.
Yeah.
Will you be able to operate it?
Of course.
Nobel Prize. I will give you a rocket. You ask question.
Sir, you asked me.
Do you know how to fly a rocket?
Sir, you asked
I'm
me.
asking you a question. Do you know how to operate a rocket? Tell the truthful reply. Do you know how if I make you sit in a rocket, will you be able to take off?
Sir, you asked me.
I am asking one
Okay,
question. If I put you in a rocket, will you be able to take off?
Okay, I will operate.
I am asking.
See, I will operate, but it may be successful or not. That's different. You asked me.
It is like using a gun, and the gun you fire and you die yourself. That's suicide. Please.
Sir, your question was.
Don't operate means correctly, not. It is not suicide. Don't operate a gun and backfires and you die. Yeah,
Yes, sir,
you don't want that people, please.
Sir, I asked you a question, sir. You asked me, can you operate?
You're a fool. Can you operate a rocket?
I say I can, but I may fail or I may be successful.
That you're a foolish. That means if you go in a forest, you want to choose the fruit. I will choose whether it's poisonous or not. If I eat a poisonous fruit, I will die. Foolish. Foolish. If that means you go to a pharmacy, okay, give me medicine which is black. I will see. Give me medicine which is red. I will eat. I may get cured, I may not get cured. That's foolish.
That's my question.
We don't want foolish people. We are not talking about foolish people. This lecture is for people who are logical, not people who are illogical.
Sir,
I will operate,
sir, it's
but I
not
don't know whether.
illogical, sir. It's not illogical. That's my
When
question.
you go to a pharmacy, when you choose a medicine and you are sick, will you take any drugs?
Sir, I'm asking, is it restricting of the thoughts? If I'm choosing fruit, then again I'm restricting the thoughts. My
Yes,
question
your
is,
thoughts should be restricted, otherwise it will be danger for someone else. You go to take off a plane and there are 500 passengers. All the passengers will die. So who would like to have a pilot like you? Sorry.
So now you say can you operate a machine? Now you saying that
You are-
I won't risking the other people's life if I
You
don't
are
want to operate.
talking all nonsense. You don't know how to operate the rocket and you want to operate, you want to try. Try and error. In this case, 99.999% you will fail. So
Sir,
this
then how
is
are you going to
foolish.
learn, sir?
How you want to learn by reading the instruction manual?
Okay.
You are sick. You go to a pharmacy and say, give me red color medicine, give me blue color. I will check which drug I will get cured. By the time you get cured, you will die. Please change your lifestyle. Otherwise,
Sir, if
you will risk your life and somebody else's life also. Next question. And we have the next question.
We have a non-Muslim lady.
Yes, sister, most welcome.
Hi, my name is Gabriel, and I'm working as a barista. And I'm currently learning or knowing about Muslim now. And a part of the learning that I want is I want to know why Prophet Muhammad is married a young girl.
The question posed by the sister is that why did Prophet Muhammad be upon married a young girl? She referred to the marriage of Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam with Aisha may Allah be with her.
Dr. Zakir Naik. My name is Adnan Jahangir. I'm a medical student and I'm an atheist, but this lecture has convinced me otherwise that Assalamu alaikum is one of the best greetings. My question is, how...
Whether you're an atheist
Yes.
or a Muslim.
No, I'm a Muslim. I'm an atheist, ex-Muslim.
You were a Muslim, now you're an atheist. Okay, brother, go ahead.
All right. My question is of two parts. First one, what is the stance of Islam on evolution? And two, what is the stance of Islam on apostates? The first one, it's how does Islam deal with evolution when, as I'm a medical student, my professors, when they show me the skulls of how humans have evolved throughout millions of years, from Homo habilis to Homo erectus to us Homo sapiens, and when they show proof of how evolution has taken place over the years, how do you disprove that when it is fact? It is not theory or it is not a hypothesis anymore. It is fact. How do you disprove that, if you could answer?
Brother Jahangir has asked a question that what is the Islamic view on theory of evolution? And brother, if I reply to you, then will you come back to the fold of Islam?
If it's a convincing enough answer.
If I give a convincing reply, will you come back to the fold of Islam?
Inshallah.
Inshallah. Good. Brother Jahangir has asked a question. He said you are the Muslim and now he's an atheist. And he asked, what is the view of the theory of evolution? For complete, you can refer to my talk on Quran and modern science, which covers in the question answer session, theory of evolution. As far as the question on theory of evolution is come, there is no book so far that I have read which talks about fact of evolution. Theory of evolution means the theory. And when we talk about theory of evolution, we start thinking of Charles Darwin. He wrote a book called The Origin of Species. And in that book, he says that he went on a ship by the name of HMS Beagle, and he went on an island by the name of Calotropis, and there he saw birds pecking in niches. Now, depending upon the niches, the holes they pecked, the beak became short and long. Based on this observation, he propounded his theory of evolution. He propounded his natural selection. And Charles Darwin, he wrote a letter to his friend Thomas Thompson in the 19th century. And he said that I do not have proof as far as my theory of evolution is concerned. There are missing links. But because it helps me in rudimentary organ, it helps me in classification, I have propounded this theory. That's the reason when we were in school, if we had to tease any of our friends, we used to call him that you are the missing link. If you were present, Darwin's theory would have been proved right, indicating that he's a monkey. We used to fool around. So there is no proof regarding Darwin's theory at all. It's a theory, it's not a fact. Now in most of the schools, they teach Darwin theory as though it's a fact because they don't have any alternative. Because of that. But no scientist at all can say for sure. Yes, there are many scientists who support Darwin's theory. But as far as recent times are concerned, most of the scientists today they do not agree with Darwin's theory. As far as you talked about the 4 waves of hominoids. First was the Iceman, then was the Neanderthal man, then was the Cro-Magnon. All these that you find, there is no link between them. There is no link whatsoever. According to P.P. Grassi, who held the chair of the evolutionary studies in Paris Sorbonne University, he said, it is letting your imagination run too wild to assume, based on few studies on the vestiges, on the skeletons, to think that we have been created from ape. There is no link at all among all these 4. So Darwin propounded. Now many things of Darwin is correct. For example, life was created from water. That Quran also says in Surah Anbiya chapter number 21 verse number 30. The Quran says, وَجَعَلْنَا مِنَ الْمَاءِ كُلَّ شَيْءٍ أَفَلَا يُؤْمِنُونَ. We have created everything from water. Every living thing from water. Will you not then believe? So this is correct. So many things of Darwin is correct. But as a whole, everything is not true. That we have been evolved for apes, is not at all. If there was evolution today, we should be having some people who are in between monkeys and human beings. We don't find that in any museum. Brother Jangir, if it's true that we as species have been evolving, today we should find some species at least which are in between the human beings and the men. I would request the audio technician to increase the volume a bit. The audio technician, wherever he is, can you increase the gain please? Jazakallah. Jazakallah shukran. That will have less strain on my vocal cords. So all these today, even according to molecular biology, according to the specialists of molecular biology, they say it is absurd to think that our DNA of the human beings have been evolved from ape. It's not possible at all. There are many books written against Darwin's theory. Now just because there is no substantial fact, that's the reason in school yet you teach about Darwin's theory. But if you read the latest researches, most of the scholars today do not believe in Darwin's theory as a whole to be correct. No scientist today yet believes. Very few, there may be few. But the majority, they disagree that we have been created from apes. And that's what the Quran says, that we believe in the theory of creation, not in the theory of evolution. The theory of creation, not the theory of evolution. Or rather, I should say the fact of creation. Hope that answers the question, brother.
No.
So where was the question? What did you not understand?
What you say, it is true. It was true. 150 years ago, it was true. It's not Darwin's theory anymore. 150 years of research has said that it's not once. He was just the one who started the ideology of evolution. It has gone over loads, 150 years worth of research with the latest scientific advancements, that it's not what you're saying. When my professor shows me proof, it's not just from apes, which is completely certain. When you see proof how the common cold evolves pathogen, like when it changes its own morphology just to keep up to date with today's vaccines, it's evolving its defense mechanisms against today's latest vaccine.
Brother,
That's
let me tell you one
evolution
thing.
right there.
Let me tell you one thing.
It's not Darwin's theory anymore.
Let me tell you one thing, brother. I am a medical doctor, and there are many researches being done. If it turns out to be a fact, it has to come in the medical college.
It is in the medical college. I'm taught this in university.
Sorry?
I'm taught evolution in university. It's
Not
not in school anymore.
I'm talking about medical. University, you learn about theories and researches. Even in medical, you learn about theories and researches. Once it becomes the fact, it comes into textbooks of medicine. I don't know of any textbook of medicine in any college in the world which says that we have been evolved. It is all these are theories, and I know the research is being done. Even Darwin's theory never came in the medical textbook. And even what you're talking about, I know there are new and new researches being coming on. But none of them yet has proved it to be a fact of evolution. The statement by itself, theory of evolution, means it's a theory. So by English language itself, you don't have to be a researcher. When you say theory, it's a theory. When the theory becomes a fact, it changes, that thing changes into a fact. So by the basic you saying theory of evolution, it means it's an hypothesis.
No.
It is not yet a thought. It's not yet a fact.
There's a difference between hypothesis and theory. A theory is something in science that has the highest honor. When something gains the word theory, it's fact. The theory, in theoretical terms, it's the theory of gravity, but we don't say it, we just say it fact. Same way we say the fact of gravity.
Sorry, what did you say? Theory of what?
Gravity. If you say it in theoretical terms, but it's
no theory of gravity. It's a law of gravity. I'm sorry.
Law.
I'm sorry.
It's the law of evolution.
I'm sorry. Your knowledge of science is very weak. It is Boyle's law. It is not Boyle's theory. It is Archimedes' principles. It's not Archimedes' theory. Whatever's theory, when it becomes a fact, it changes into law. I'm sorry, your knowledge is so weak, and I wouldn't like to continue. Your knowledge is so weak.
My question,
I'm
sir.
not here to teach 2 + 2 = 4 in the audience. In the question answer session, you ask a question, I give the answer. If you like it, you keep it. If you don't like it, you throw it.
Okay, just
the thing is that if your knowledge is so weak, you're saying theory is the highest thing in science. I'm sorry, you're absurd. I'm a medical doctor. Theory is the highest thing in science. I'm very sorry, brother.
If someone
I'm
can
Jahangir,
disprove,
brother, I'm very sorry. Theory is never the highest thing in science. If you think just because you're going to a university or coming to fool the people here,
I'm not.
I'm totally sorry. Theory, if it becomes a fact, and if the theory becomes a law, it may reach a high standard. But theory by itself, it's a theory, it's a hypothesis. Once it gets converted, it becomes a law, it becomes a fact. Newton's law, it becomes a fact, it becomes a law. I'm sorry to say that by itself, calling it a theory means it is not yet an established fact. The heart pumps blood. Is it a theory or is it a fact?
It's a fact.
No, the theory of heart pumping blood. Theory of heart pumping blood now. Now if I'm going to teach you English language here, I feel you are wasting the time of the people. Surely, if you can't understand simple English, that what is the difference between a theory, that theory is the highest thing in science, then I'm sorry, you'll have to go back and learn science.